What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the online channeling during this rather auspicious occasion of the 2000th consecutive episode of the Jamiroquai Minute, all the latest Jamiroquai news. And it's hard to believe, after nearly 10 years, that I've gotten to a 2000th consecutive episode of ending my series here on the JamiroFan2000 YouTube channel. So let's get into more news about that.
Hi, I'm Derek from Jamiroquai, and I'm here with my good friend JamiroFan2000, and you're watching the Jamiroquai Minute here.
My name's Nick Van Gelder, original Jamiroquai drummer, and you're watching the Jamiroquai Minute.
Hi, this is Stuart Zender, and you're watching the Jamiroquai Minute with JamiroFan2000.
In 2000 consecutive episode of the Jamiroquai News series, looking back retrospective, it is hard to believe that I've done 2,000 consecutive episodes of this constant information series, looking at now nearly 2 album eras of Jamiroquai's history and looking back at an amazing 30-year musical history of Jamiroquai in the same process. I love to look back at all of what I've done on YouTube, and I have done 10 years of content. I had recently recorded my 4,000th video on YouTube over the last 10 years. And in that time, I have garnered a heck of an online following of the online family, and I hope in no small part that this content has helped inform, educate, and bring people into the amazing, vibrant musical history of Jamiroquai in the process. The Jamiroquai Minute just happened to be my longest concurrent series next to JamiroFan Talks About here on my channel, and I never thought in my longest day that I would be doing this for nearly 2 album cycles, nearly 10 years cumulatively, and thousands of videos. It started off as a bit of an experiment in late 2016, looking back at the beginning of what was to be a burgeoning new album era for Jamiroquai with their 8th album with Autumn Made On, but I knew that album was going to be big, so I thought I'd go headfirst into becoming a content creator and not just a person online contributing, which I had been doing up to literally that point for nearly 20 years in many post forums and many websites and many pre-social media online jamily at that time. And I never thought I'd see myself becoming a major cornerstone of this vibrant, growing community of music appreciating members of the online jamily. And I can say as a massive thank you to everybody that influenced me up to this point in becoming a content creator. Now, like I said, I came into this very, very inexperienced, at least in content creation, but over the last 10 years of doing content on YouTube, I've learned a lot about timing. It takes a lot of courage to do these kind of things, to put yourself out here on the internet like this, and to consistently try to come up with news and report news. But I've had nothing but amazing friends, the band's management, the band themselves, the band members themselves, being nothing but appreciative and just absolutely supporting me since the beginning. It did take time for them to come around to the fact that I'd been producing weekly, daily content for Jamiroquai for over 10 years, but they didn't come out late of it. They all were appreciative of in YouTube comments and meeting them in real life in 2018, in 2023, at least on one-on-one. But I've known them all on social media, and I've had nothing but great fans who have supported me and influenced me and been positive my way. There have been a few outliers here and there, people who don't know me and just casting omissions and thoughts about me and not fully knowing my content, but I don't hold it against them. They obviously never seen my talent, my talent and my way of doing videos here on YouTube. But I have been nothing but trying to be the consummate fan and trying to get people into the music of Jamiroquai, educate them about the amazing, vibrant history of Jamiroquai, which over 30 years they have surprised us, they have alarmed us, they've in some cases scared us. But this has been one of the most important bands in my life, and it's my mission statement to continue to try to bring you all the latest Jamiroquai news. As like I said, I'm going into my 2nd album era of covering Jamiroquai. The first album era with Jamiroquai, at least for content creation, was of course Autumn Made On from 2017 to 2020, and that was amazing time with a lot of news breaks and reporting lots of news and building a reputation of hopefully becoming one of the most trustworthy voices in the online channel, at least in a fan sense, not an official sense, but in a fan sense. But like I said, Jamiroquai social media, their marketing department, their management have been nothing but exemplary through the time of them going to Universal Music. Rock Dust Lightstar was a bit of a bumpy ride in that time, but they really did right the ship and made up for the shortcomings that happened with Rock Dust Lightstar with the exceptional promotion period and tour of Automaton, which really saw a resurgence of Jamiroquai's creativity and musicality. And I just know that Jamiroquai Album 9, which has been being worked on for nearly 3.5 to 4 years now, will definitely penultimate sometime in the later part of 2025 with a new album. And of course, an exciting Heels of Steel Tour 2025. But for anybody who's new to my channel and have not watched my content in the past, I am going to be attaching my first ever Jamiroquai Minute onto this episode, this 2000 consecutive episode of the Jamiroquai Minute. And that episode is going to play right here.
Hello everyone, this is JamiroFan2000 and welcome to the new series called the Jamiroquai Minute. All the latest Jamiroquai news in less than 1 minute. Just released on YouTube was a new interview with Matt Johnson, the current keyboardist of Jamiroquai, where he basically briefly discussed writing music with JK and recording the new Jamiroquai album, but a few very key confirmations about the 8th Jamiroquai album just came out. The first being that the first single from the new album will be out sometime in the summer, so expect to see it sometime in the next 1 to 2 months, July, August. Second confirmation was this was the same news that was confirmed by Paul Turner on his Twitter account, that the new album will be out sometime between October and November 2016. And the third confirmation is that the new Jamiroquai album is currently being sent to the U.S. for mixing. For a link to this Matt Johnson interview, it is in the description box of this video down below and on my Twitter account on a tweet. And be sure to stop by the Jamiroquai subreddit over on Reddit. Link to that also down there below. See you later.
There you go. That is Jamiroquai Minute number 1, and boy, did I look nervous. I was sitting in a McDonald's, ironically, and I happened to be one today, for that first episode of the Jamiroquai Minute back in 2016. And little did I realize that with following episodes of that series, the news would get just more exciting, and I would become more engaged, and I would start learning literally on the fly of making content every day, nearly every week sequentially, on how to promote Jamiroquai. And then from there, it pretty much snowballed into me doing series, talking about their history, their music videos, and everything. And then I went and saw them live for the first time in 2018 during the U.S. tour leg of the second year of the Automaton tour. Met a lot of members of the family in real life for the first time outside of social media, and some of my oldest friends from the online family met in real life at that New York gig. And then, out of that, I became influenced to continue to do videos, and then that, after 2023, after getting invited personally to see them at Victoria's Festival, that led into me becoming a bit of a historian, or a jamatorian, as I like to call it. Self-publishing over 12 resource and information guides about various topics about Jamiroquai, from JK's funky hats, to the music videos, to their tour history, to everything. And I kind of thought of myself as a bit of a curator for this band, and they have, like I said, they have been nothing but supportive this whole time. So I have to send a massive thank you. This is the thank you portion of this long-winded video, to all the band members of Jamiroquai, old and new, Nick Van Gelder, Stuart Zender, Gavin Dodds, and then the current band members, Matt Johnson, Sola Akimbala, Rob Harris, Paul Turner, JK himself, Nate Williams, the Jamiroettes, the Road Crew, everybody, Rick Pope, the director of music for Jamiroquai, and everybody in the band have been nothing but supportive in the very rare moments that I've been able to interact with them. And I'd like to spend probably the biggest thank you to the Jamly themselves. I mean, their love, their support, their positivity is what keeps me usually going, because, like I said, a lot of people have to develop a lot of courage and a lot of fortitude to be able to do this kind of thing on a weekly basis about a band like Jamiroquai. And I think I've done a pretty good job covering the band members, things in and out of Jamiroquai. Because, if I had stuck to doing just Jamiroquai things, there would have been these long dead spaces of nothing to cover. But the band members themselves of Jamiroquai, old and new, are amazing musicians with unlimited imaginative creativity, and we just recently seen that the fruits of those labors, like with keyboardist Matt Johnson, and the work with Rob Harris with Dune People, and of course Shola Akimbala putting out his solo album How Should I, an amazing Afro Roots album, bringing London music back into an antithetical world music view, and just seeing their evolutions as artists outside of Jamiroquai has been as rewarding as watching them within the confines of the creative process of making Jamiroquai albums that we've all come to love for so far these 8 album cycles. And all I can do is say a massive thank you to all the band members of Jamiroquai, and of course the Jamley, who continue to undyingly support all my work that I do on social media. And I am very humbled, and I don't ever let it get to my head, and I do not try to have an ego about what I do with the Jamley. I don't take it as a job. I take it as a passion, a labor of passion, And I will keep going into the second new straight album cycle, which is sure to be a long one, starting hopefully sometime in late 2025 with the 9th Jamiroquai album, which I'm hopefully going to be seeing a lot of news coming about. So I'm both trepidatious and excited to bring you all that news as it becomes available. I've done it a little bit with my infographics that I've been updating over the last near 6 months of 2025 here. This video being recorded here in June of 2025, but I'm sure these next 2 months are going to be some really exciting times of a massive torn of Jamiroquai album 9 information coming out, and I will do an endeavor, as I always do and say in my videos, to bring you all the latest news as it becomes verified, when I can, where I can. But I just want to send a big thank you to everybody in the online Jamley for giving me the courage and the strength to continue to do these videos here on YouTube, because YouTube can be a beast of burden, technologically speaking, for some content creators, and can burn out some people. But I've been doing it for now. Probably next year, around August of 2026, will be my 10th official anniversary on YouTube. And that kind of longevity is very, very hard to do, at least in digital content creation. And like I say, is a massive thank you to everybody. And I look forward to this next amazing, bewildering ride that comes with us with Jamiroquai Album 9. And that is it for this 2000 consecutive episode of the Jamiroquai Minute. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I hope you get a chance to deep dive my YouTube channel in your free time and check back on my previous series. So many series here on my channel that I've done about the history of Jamiroquai. I hope you find some solace and become better educated in the music of Jamiroquai, just looking through my YouTube channel when you can, where you can. But as always, this is JamiroFan2000, and I'll see you again really soon with hopefully another 2,000 episodes of the Jamiroquai Minute here on the JamiroFan2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Thank you again. Keep the faith, and I'll see you around with more content here on the JamiroFan2000 YouTube channel. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you around for another 2,000.